Welcome back. You're watching Newsx with me, Malvika. Now, United States President Donald Trump has said that the United States is ready to help as protests in Iran face an intensifying crackdown by authorities of the Islamic Republic, writing on social media that Iran is looking at freedom like never before. His comments come as he again warned that Iran is in big trouble and did not rule out possible military action. With internet and phone lines cut across Iran, information remains limited, but the US-based human rights activists say that at least 116 people, including 78 protesters, have been killed so far, with thousands reported to have been arrested. Meanwhile, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has signaled a hardening response as Iran's Attorney General warned that anyone taking part in demonstrations or even helping protesters could be charged as an enemy of God, a crime that carries the death penalty. So that, of course, is what the United States President has now stated. And he's issued a statement on X as well, saying that the Iranian regime could be in big trouble. I have with me Ambassador KP Fabian, former diplomat, joining me on the broadcast. So thank you for taking the time to join us this morning. We're of course taking a look at the very concerning developments that are unfolding in Iran, and we now have the US President stepping in where he has stated the Iranian regime could be in big trouble, and we've also learned that he has been briefed about possible military action that the US can take in order to crack down against the Iranian regime. How do you view the US involving itself in this nationwide protest that is seeing citizens rise up against the Islamic regime?
Good morning. First thing to understand is that it is the US policy of sanctions started when I was in Iran, 76, 79. I left in 79. It is the US policy of sanctions that is mainly responsible for what we are witnessing today, because Iranian currency, the rial, is fast losing its value. In December, it was about 42,000 rials to a dollar. Now, I was checking, it's almost a million. 42,000, you can just look at it. So, second thing, of course, is corruption. Well, there will be corruption when there is scarcity. I'm not justifying it. Third, of course, the Iranian regime is theocratic, isolated from the people, and absolutely, what shall I say, condemnable from anyone who believes in human rights and democratic values. But having said that, you mentioned about President Trump being advised about military action. I do not think that there is any feasible military action which Trump can take, because I do not think he can repeat what he did with Maduro in the case of Ayatollah Khamenei. So, we also have to realize that there is no particular leadership for the moment. Of course, Reza Shah, the son of the late Shah and Shah, has been talking. Well, there will be some support for his coming back, but I do not think there is enough support. So, if the regime falls, there will be a civil war, because the regime still has support from a section of the people and the security forces. It's a very bad situation, and Trump is only making it worse. And Khamenei has got it absolutely wrong.
Absolutely, sir. And we've seen the United States President's repeated statements, repeated claims, not just with regards to Iran, but worldwide, he has this thing where he wants to portray himself as a peacemaker. But we've seen this war of words also emerge between him and the Iranian regime, where the regime, Islamic regime in Iran, in fact, hit back and started calling the protesters as mercenaries of foreign powers, as having acted upon the orders or on the under the influence of the United States. So when we see Trump's repeated sort of interventions, or he's putting himself in the middle of the discourse instead of helping from afar, do you think that such repeated claims, such repeated statements that he might take military action, do you think it is in fact derailing the Iranian protesters more than it is helping them?
To an extent, it will, in the sense that there are some Iranians who believe that Trump can at least help them in bringing down the Ayatollah. So to that extent. But I also, at the same time, it is also having a negative impact, because Ayatollah is calling them instruments of Trump or carrying out Trump orders. That will certainly have some resonance among the Iranian people.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for joining us with your perspective on this big story.